Honest J. Nowak. Coming at you live. Alright. A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to HJN Graphix. So let's get on going with the rest of this entire marathon, because I'm already seeing the light at the end of the tunnel right here with all the kinds of work that I've been doing. It's kind of been a real shame that I've had to cut down a lot of episodes from a lot of work of mine and even cancel some projects altogether. But lately, I'd say things are becoming a little easier for the time I have to manage. But today, let's go ahead and talk about ourselves another little driving simulator game, Mud Runner. Mud Runner, of course, has been through quite a bit. It's gotten itself a nice tangent, happening on the PS4, and soon to be the PS5, too, believe it or not. The latest entry that we were able to get with this game was Snow Runner, which came out in 2019. But Mud Runner from 2017 has itself quite a bit of stuff going for it. It is basically a driving simulator game. But this one factor is that it takes place in various swamps, mud patterns, and other such environments that do relate to the usage of four-wheel drive, traction, grip, winches, and hooks. There are all sorts of ways that you can probably think of Mud Runner, but the way I see it, it's probably a bit more than just a driving simulator with a whole lot better frame rates to look at to make it seem more cleaner, more appealing to the eye. Mud Runner, to me, was certainly quite a bit of a game itself. A bit more of a simulator than a game. But the thing is that it happens to have quite a bit of things to it. Quite a few unique topics that I could suggest to talk about. First of all, it is in fact like that of most other games out there. It's an open world sort of game. And there are many different worlds to choose from. Lots of them. All types of swamps, all types of bogs, marshes, mountainous terrains, dunes, and plenty of other unique biomes that you would typically find in most other games. Minecraft, Ark, Red Dead Redemption, plenty of games of those types. They have biomes of all sorts, all on a single map, so this way you can gauge the kinds of things that would take place, if they seemed like they were realistic. But above all that, I do consider Mud Runner to be fairly decent. The usage of driving mechanics out there on the road, or roads that are made out of mud, of dirt, soil, water, clay, and whatnot, they don't seem to be very common. Although, of course, there was the usage of the ice roads, which even to this day still do harbor quite a lot of freight, as they seem to be a nice key alternative to most drivers whom are not necessarily looking forward to having a huge accident take place on a regular road. Ice roads, they do have their own risks. Very bad risks. When it comes to mud roads, however, it's pretty much a whole different story. There could be a time where a truck might end up getting stuck in quicksand or sinking into quicksand. And there could be a time where you would basically not be able to move at all, which would of course be pretty difficult to get out of on your own. Unless, of course, you were to have yourself a winch. A winch with a hook on the end of it. That would automatically pull you out of the situation as fast as possible. So Mud Runner really does help to capitalize on plenty of unique things out there in real life. When it comes to driving on mud, soil, clay, ash, and plenty of other unique roads that have been made out of these different materials. The different kinds of natural materials that are found on the Earth's crust itself. They also double as our own pathway to be able to get from point A to point B by truck or otherwise. And you also cannot forget that there are a certain amount of trucks to choose from. From a Chevy Blazer, to a Peterbilt, to a Kenworth, to a variety of others out there. And there are a lot to pick from, most of which were designed for off-road transportation. But by all means, I won't necessarily agree that it's for everybody. Because the few things that I might not consider worthwhile for it would be the fact that getting stuck every now and then would be a bit of a pain to get from point A to point B. Challenge, of course, is a good thing to have, especially if you want to improve your brain on concentration, accuracy, and problem-solving puzzle skills. But when it comes to this game in particular, the repetitive nature that sometimes occurs whenever a truck gets stuck in the mud or ends up even getting destroyed because, well, this is a simulator. Your trucks can in fact get damaged if you're not careful on the roads, and every time you might end up rolling over or something like that, then your trucks basically become useless. But that, of course, can be solved by exploring around the open world that you're a part of, and you can then uncover different trucks to use. For example, I started off with a Chevy Blazer in one world, and I eventually moved up and found a couple of trucks out there by discovering certain segments of the map itself that were not highlighted. And so that's how I would be able to utilize Western Star, Kenworth, or Peterbilt-based semi-trucks, or even a Mack, which of course would mean getting a lot of mileage, as in terms of gameplay, to avoid any sorts of boredom or repetitiveness, because a variety would be helpful, even if it just means a change in the look and design of certain things. But by all means, I still don't really say that it's a great game by any means. But if you can pick yourself up a copy, then please try it out. Gran Turismo Sport, Need for Speed, and plenty of other racing games have that sort of simulation feel to it, to basically exercise what an in-real-life encounter with these things would be like. That's sort of the beauty of with today's technology. And so that's pretty much going to mark the end of this chapter right here, because we're going to move on to the other two chapters remaining for today on the 24th. So if you want to see more, go down to my channel, then make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.